You what? You what? You what? So the self-proclaimed leader of this YouTube channel Games, GMC, Jimmy thinks he can cancel me for low performance? He thinks my videos did not get enough views? How dare he? I challenge him to a duel. I started this channel. Not him, not all these other weirdos and fools, me. I am that Nigel movie guy, Cambridge and Oxford educated expert level film critic and historian. This is season 3 of the reviews for all you haters out there. And, just to prove to you that movies are better than video games, check out these complete video game rip-offs as the introduction to this review. See, I told you so, the movie is much better. Motion pictures are great. Video games are trash. I could go on and on and on, but you get the picture. Movies rule, video games drool. Enjoyed the video and please for the love of God click the like, share and subscribe buttons. Thank you. The Dark Knight is a 2008 superhero film directed, produced, and co-written by Christopher Nolan. Based on the DC Comics character Batman, the film is the second installment of Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy and a sequel to 2005's Batman Begins, starring Christian Bale and supported by Michael Caine, Heath Ledger, Gary Oldman, Aaron Eckhart, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Morgan Freeman. In the film, Bruce Wayne, Batman, Bale, Police Lieutenant James Gordon, Oldman, and District Attorney Harvey Dent, Eckhart, form an alliance to dismantle organized crime in Gotham City, but are menaced by an anarchistic mastermind known as the Joker, Ledger, who seeks to undermine Batman's influence and throw the city into chaos.
Again. A year ago, these cops and lawyers wouldn't dare cross any of you. I mean, what happened?
Nolan's inspiration for the film was the Joker's comic book debut in 1940, the 1988 graphic novel The Killing Joke, and the 1996 series The Long Halloween, which retold Harvey Dent's origin. The Dark Knight nickname was first applied to Batman in Batman No. 1, 1940, in a story written by Bill Finger. The Dark Knight was filmed primarily in Chicago, as well as in several other locations in the United States, the United Kingdom, and Hong Kong. The film was the first mainstream feature to partially utilize IMAX 70mm cameras, with Nolan using them for 28 minutes of the film, including the Joker's first appearance. Warner Bros. Initially created a viral marketing campaign for The Dark Knight, developing promotional websites and trailers highlighting screenshots of Ledger as the Joker. Ledger died on January 22, 2008, some months after he completed filming and 6 months before the film's release from a toxic combination of prescription drugs. leading to intense attention from the press and movie-going public.
The night is darkest just before the dawn. I promise you, the dawn is coming.
Considered one of the best films of its decade and one of the greatest and most influential films of all time, the film received critical acclaim for its screenplay, visual style, musical score, stunts, mature themes, performances, particularly Ledger's, cinematography, action sequences and direction. The film also set numerous records during its theatrical run. Oh my goodness, what has happened to my voice? I am that Nigel movie guy, yet I sound odd. I must have caught a virus. I will let GMC talk more about this movie now. I am terribly sorry. I realize that my insight and knowledge far exceed his, but then again he owns this channel and so I have very little to say other than my humble apologies. Here you go, Games, what do you think of the film?
Whoa, that Nigel movie guy wants me, GMC, to talk about The Dark Knight? What can I say? I mean, it's one of those once in a lifetime type of viewing experiences, and I've seen it, probably about 10 times by now, but the first time was incredible. And let me just remind you that when this came out back in July of 2008, Heath Ledger had already been dead and died, and he was a fantastic Joker, but his death loomed large upon the release of the film. Now, upon multiple viewings, I feel like the pacing, or rather, I don't really know about pacing. I'm not a film school graduate or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of the plot doesn't make a ton of sense, given that, the Joker's just running around doing crazy stuff without any real sense of end game or any real goals in mind. But, you get that interaction between Joker and Batman and his two key allies, Harvey Dent and Commissioner Gordon, of course. And it's just, a really good film. Tight editing. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. And it's just, really well made. Until recently, it was my favorite part of the Nolan Batman trilogy. I think now I consider it equal to Batman Begins. I still think it's odd that Maggie Gyllenhaal replaced, what's her name? Tom Hanks's, not Tom Hanks's. So Katie Holmes was the original Rachel Dawes, Gotham City's assistant district attorney, but she turned it down to film Mad Money with Diane Keaton and Queen Latifah. So anyway, it's just kind of odd that in a, modern cinematic era that a main star decides to leave a project or decides not to come back for a sequel. It doesn't really ruin the movie in any way. And Rachel Dawes isn't even based on a comic book character to begin with. She was invented by Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer, the creators of Batman Begins, but I digress. I'm going to wrap this up because I don't really know what else to say. And, when I try to talk about a movie compared to that Nigel movie guy, I just sound like a fool. And, I'm sorry to hear that he was cut short by that virus or whatever he got. Hopefully he's feeling better. Nonetheless, do I recommend The Dark Knight? Well, of course I do. I'm a Batman fan. And it was great to see, Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face. It's too bad that his role as Two-Face is only towards the end, but, it's just a huge improvement over Tommy Lee Jones's version of Two-Face. And, of course, it was a phenomenally huge success. And at the end of it, I just wanted to see more Heath Ledger's Joker. And I think that's kind of the lingering ghost of the film, is that we're never going to we're never find out what happened to Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, he gets caught at the end, but does he just, live out the rest of his life in Arkham Asylum? It's a mystery for which we'll never have an answer for the Nolanverse.